A burglary that cost the life of an entire family. On the 15th of June 2021, in the quiet town of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the tale of the Jacksons and the horrifying tragedy that led to the death of their family terrified the entire city and left the police department perplexed. In most cases, a burglar seeks valuable possessions, but this night was different. The intruder had no interest in riches or treasures. Instead, his motives had spiraled into something far more sinister. Something unfathomable even to the most experienced detectives, which got them questioning. Why had this intruder targeted the Jacksons? What drove the robber to commit such a senseless act of violence? Was it a burglary gone wrong, or had the intent never been theft to begin with?
I've been shot in the foot.
Okay, sir, stay on the line. Be answering. Give them the address right away.
The person you heard right now is Alexander Jackson, the eldest son of the Jackson family. The 22-year-old University of Iowa student made this call right after the burglar had shot his dad, Mr. Jan Jackson, as well as Alexander in his right foot. The officers, armed and ready, rushed towards the house through the front door, where they were met with a scene of unimaginable horror.
Who are you?
My dad.
Is that your dad? What happened?
What happened? He came down. There was a man.
Who shot your dad? Who else is here?
My sister.
She's in the back?
Yeah, she's in her room.
Is she okay?
I think so.
What's her name?
Sabrina?
Unfortunately, Sabrina, the youngest daughter, laid lifeless on the bedroom floor, her innocence extinguished by a cold-blooded shot to her left eye. The precision of the act left them chilled to the bone. Upstairs, in a room tainted by darkness and dread, they found Melissa Jackson, lying in a pool of blood, shot dead, another victim of the baffling robber's deadly spree. 3 murders and a severe injury, all in the name of a robbery. But who was this mystery robber?
So you were sleeping on the couch, in the porch, you were sleeping in the porch?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what happened? Did you hear gunshots or what?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard gunshots. And then saw somebody in your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex described the armed intruder as a tall black man, wearing all black, a ski mask, gloves, and green shoes. He explained that he tried to attack him, which led to him getting shot in his foot.
911 dispatcher attempts to get more information. The defendant says he's black, and the dispatcher asks, his shirt or his skin? Both. So now we have a man with a black shirt who's black. And that's all we've got.
The information revealed by Alexander was beyond suspicious. The details were generic, and he barely gave any specifications about this murderer who butchered his family, which was the first clue in the puzzle that the police couldn't piece in.
And Alexander Jackson tells the dispatcher, well, there is a gun on the floor. Did this intruder leave it behind? No, it's our gun, but we got shot with it. And you can hear the inflection in the dispatcher's voice because even she's caught off guard, and she says something along the lines of, you got shot with your own gun? Yeah? Question mark.
In the most twisted tale of possibilities, the burglar's weapon of choice was none other than a firearm concealed within the very crime scene he had intended to loot. The irony, this secret weapon was hidden below Alexander's bed before the mystery murderer found it and shot the Jackson family. Below the bed of the only survivor of the massacre. That's when the story started smelling fishier and more suspicious than ever before. But the final nail in the coffin was the security footage right outside the Jackson house.
We went through what you said, okay? Because we wanted to find, listen, I'll give you the respect and believe you until it just gets to the point where it's just fantasy now. Okay? What do? We expedite the ring cameras because hey, if we can see some guy coming and going from the house, that is what we need to see. But we don't see that. So in order for your story to be true, that means somebody would have had to bypass your ring cameras and not set them off. Get lucky enough that a door was unlocked and they picked the right door to be unlocked.
Well, we don't usually lock our doors.
Okay, fine. But then for them to know that, now you call them an intruder, but I'm not going to call them that because nobody came in there to burglarize anything. They came in there to murder people because that's all that happened there. No items were taken. But if they came there to murder people, like you said, then they would have had to get lucky enough that you had left a gun out for them and left ammunition out so they could load the gun. And then be able to know right where everybody's at and shoot everyone and get in a fight with the biggest person in the house and have struggle with the gun and be able to escape without you hurting them or without them setting off the cameras. So they've now come and gone and we have none of that. So we looked in, that's your story. I'm pretty sure if I tell that story to you, you cannot sit there and look me in the eye and say, yeah, well, that did happen. Because that's, come on, you just heard me say it. That's not even possible.
The only way an intruder could manage to get past the security cameras with absolutely zero trace of breaking in and getting hold of a weapon to kill inside the very own house he attacked is if he was imaginary. And that's exactly what happened. In a shocking twist, there was no mysterious intruder, no daring robbery. Instead, it was Alexander Jackson, the very blood kin of the victims who carried out the horrifying massacre. He shot himself in his right foot to conceal his heinous act in an attempt to make the murder setup look more real, but in the end, you can only hide so much of reality.
Approximately 9 a.m. and 50 seconds in that interview video, the defendant said he thought it'd hurt worse. Getting shot in the foot, he thought it would hurt worse. That's not something that's contemplated. You don't wake up and, gosh, I wonder what it would feel like to get shot in the foot by my own .22 Browning rifle. You think about what it's going to feel like to get shot in the foot when you've planned to try and cover up 3 murders that you've committed by shooting yourself in the foot, ladies and gentlemen. I thought it hurt worse. The defendant thinks he spooked him. I think I spooked him or something.
But his plan was so poorly executed that it didn't take long for the authorities to realize the lies behind Jackson's footsteps.
You can see enough of a footprint, heel, toe, that's what I'm talking about. Dark red, walking from the area of his bedroom out into the hallway. You can see where that footprint continues, steps over Dad, and then the footprints are now, and it looks like he stood there for a little bit, potentially, and then there are lighter footprints on the way back. When we came into contact with him, he's sitting in the back of the hallway.
But how is it possible to have a courtroom scene without a defense attorney? And he had a simple yet strong defense in hand. Why would Alexander commit the evil act of killing his own family? The central argument raised was, what could have motivated him to do so? The Jacksons were an incredibly close-knit family. The walls of their house were adorned with photos that showed their extraordinary life. Each corner held a pulsating memory, and the pictures speak for themselves. The pride they had when Alexander graduated, the radiant glow of Sabrina's countless achievements, and the vibrant snapshots of their unforgettable family vacations. Yet, hidden beneath this facade of happiness were some dark secrets that the world wasn't aware of.
They took great pride in all of the vacations they took, all of the things that they did together, trips that they went on. accomplishments that the kids did, the Eagle Scouts. These pictures and pictures like this were all over the walls of this home.
The same question pondered upon everyone's heart. Why would such a happy family be shot by their very own heir? But further investigation connected the dots to this story that seemed like an endless tale of twisted secrets and lies. Jackson's father dreamt for his son to soar high, but all he witnessed was his boy wasting his life away on their porch, leaving behind a trail of profound disappointment. With just $30 to his name, Alexander chose games over gainful pursuits, failing in college and life itself. The Jacksons got into a simmering disagreement about the same, which erupted into a volatile confrontation, escalating from words to a shockingly brutal violent encounter as Alexander turned his father's weapon against him, killing his very own dad. Yet, Alexander's thirst for cruelty knew no limits. With ruthless determination, he silenced his mother and sister, one after the other, erasing all traces to sculpt a burglary scene that went completely wrong.
When asked who he was home with, the defendant said that he was home with his sister. She was in her bedroom. But never in that 911 call do you hear the defendant yell out to his sister, "Sabrina, I've been shot! Dad's been shot! Are you okay?" Nothing. And the reason the defendant isn't calling out to his sister is because he knows that she's dead. He doesn't call out to his mom, "Mom, I've been shot. Mom, are you okay? Mom, help me. Check on Dad." Because he knows his mother is also dead.
With all arrows pointing to Alexander as the murderer, the defense attorney played their trump card. They argued that investigators were sloppy in their search for the alleged intruder and ignored potential evidence that could have proven another person's presence in the Jackson home. They also added that the investigators who interviewed their client on the day of the crime scene took advantage of a shocked and medicated state he was in as they began to blame him for the murders. With both the parties having strong arguments and defenses for Alexander Jackson murdering his very own family, the jury gave its final result.
Executed, we, the jury, find the defendant, Alexander Jackson, guilty of the offense of murder in the first degree.
Alexander pleaded for a rehearing, which he was quickly dismissed from. His sentence hearing was scheduled on the 3rd of March at 1:30 p.m. Alexander was sentenced to jail for 3 lifetimes on his final hearing. He showed no reaction when the verdict was read, and his lawyers attempted to shield him from television and stills cameras in the courtroom. However, when the deputies handcuffed him and led him out of the courtroom, he seemed to tear up, probably realizing the extent of his demonic actions and the consequences which he will be suffering for the same. A beautiful family shattered in a matter of seconds, not because of a mysterious burglar, but because of their very own heir. This was the story of the murder of the Jacksons. Do you think any other outcome was possible in this case? Do let us know your thoughts about this investigation in your comments down below, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another video from us.